Hello, one and all. Welcome to a live stream edition of the THRS Deep Cuts. I'm Andrew.
Tim.
And Lee.
We have yes. Now we've got Lee joining us for a bit tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun. We haven't had Lee sit through a full session. He's jumped in here and there for a few things, and you've seen him on TV before, but this is his first sort of dipping his toes into the streaming aspect of stuff. So make him feel welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a new face with us, so let's have some fun with this tonight. As always, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Details for all that sort of stuff is in the description or the post of this. So do that, follow, like, subscribe, and all the links you need that we're going to talk about are going to be in there as well. So everything we're talking about tonight, there's some sort of reference for you to go and follow up with in the description or the post of this episode, wherever you're tuning into this from. So on that note, we are talking about the latest from Praying Mantis and Lawnmower Deth tonight. We're going to talk about a classic album from Warrior Soul as well. We're going to draft some 1987 albums, talk about Glow in the Dark vinyl, rattle off a few singles as well, and everything else we normally do, feed the bin later on, all that sort of stuff too. So there's a lot coming up on this Thursday night session. So hopefully you're all keeping well out there. A big thank you, of course, before we get stuck into things, to our fantastic sponsors in Squinting Screen Printing, Alt, Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description or the post, so please find them, give them a follow, a like, a share. All that sort of stuff is greatly appreciated by them and by us as well. But here we are. We're back for another Thursday session. We missed last week because it just didn't quite work out, but we're back here again. We've got some regulars jumping in. So Nicole saying hello from soggy Walkaraka in Queensland. Well, yeah, it does get very soggy up there, so hopefully you're keeping well. And Benjamin Payne, our good friend Benjamin Payne, is going, "Sup, boys? Good to see you here. Hope you're well as well." But let's do the round. So, Tim, how you going?
Back in ISO.
Yeah.
For myself, so yeah, it is what it is. Just not doing anything. Yeah. Third time in like 4 months.
More isolation for you again. You keep finding a way to do that, don't you?
I know, right? Oh well, here's what it is.
Well, as long as you're keeping up okay, that's the main thing. So
yeah, that's it.
Oh, nothing else you can really add, is there? You're back in your little.
no, just really had a gig cancelled. Yeah, that's it.
So did you guys cancel the whole gig or just the Orange part of the gig?
So no, Orange are not playing. Instead, we've got another replacement band. Actually, I've just forgotten the name. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this bit.
Oh, you should know. Everything's random as we do things here.
Oh my god.
Hey?
King's Vengeance. That's the one. So we've got Right After Midnight, King's Vengeance, and Shotgun Mistress. That Whole Lot of Love tomorrow night.
Awesome. So get on down there, support the venue, support the band.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the Oregon guys are still going to show up anyway. So yeah, if you wanted to say hi, so
nice. Lee, how about you? How you going there, mate? It's been a little while since I've seen you on the camera side of things. Yeah, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm in healthcare, so my job is forever busy. So enjoying the night off tonight, but just trying to stay away. Like you, Tim, I haven't had to be worried about isolation, so lucky. Touch wood. I'm sure that's
hopefully
not an easy thing to go through.
No.
But otherwise, doing really well. So I think just my wife and I have just bought a bit of land today, so looking forward to that. So
cool.
Over down in Venus Bay. So
cool.
Nice place.
Awesome, man. Oh, well, you're keeping well, and I know we said it before, but thanks for all the work you do in the health sector. It's a fucking shit show for the last couple of years, so I don't envy you. Yeah, no, you're a better man than I am. I haven't got the patience for that kind of stuff. I'm no good at it.
Don't worry, slowly losing that patience. I thought I was always a patient, but yeah, it's up to here at the moment. Kind of losing the satisfaction with the job's not easy.
Yeah. Well, try not to burn out. It's I know it's hard, but yeah, hopefully it all picks up sooner rather than later for everyone out there as well. There's nothing much to say from my end. I've avoided everything like the plague. I haven't done much. I've just been working on stuff for the show, which is what I normally do, and it's kept me plenty busy. Lee, you've seen all the stuff that goes through what I've been giving to all the Patreon supporters. So there's plenty there that's kept me busy over the last few weeks, and just sort of it's easy to stay at home when you're flat out busy. So yeah, not much to talk about. Just sitting there producing content, listening to albums. It's just what I like to do with my time anyway. So the only bad thing that's been this week is that the Chiefs lost. So that was back on Monday, and it's like, okay, well, that's the season done for the NFL for this year, and now we wait for the AFL season to start. So we have to start about the tipping competition, don't we? We'll do that later on.
It had to be an overtime loss.
After the week before as well, it was fucked.
I know.
Like, for fuck's sake. That hurt that day. That really hurt. I mean, now it's not so bad. I mean, fuck, how high and how often can you get there? So it's a rare feat to get there to begin with. So, they're not easy to win, but it's all good. That's been really the only thing to talk about. Dean's here as well. So good to see you, Dean, on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, as always, a good regular of ours there. Alrighty. For those that are tuning in, if you want to give us your thoughts as we go along, make sure you leave your comments and all that sort of stuff. If you are on Instagram, though, we don't see your comments come through. Make sure you jump to a different platform if you want to actually make sure we see your comment. But you can watch. It's just we don't see your comments as through this platform here. Let's get into the singles side of thing here. So let's start off with the hard rock happenings and get into the singles side of this. So the first one, this is like where we spin or bin a song kind of thing. So the first one is from Reckless Love. Their latest single is Turbo Rider. So that's in the description. It's in the comments now as well for those who want to check it out and have a chat about this one as well. Oh, well, before we get stuck into that, Conrad's here as well. Good evening, guys. Good to see you, Conrad. Thanks for joining us once again. All right, but let's have a quick chat about yes, I'll get to that. Actually, no, I should probably start with that. I've had a massive fluster the last couple of hours. So Dean has gone, rest in peace. Glenn Wheatley, a pioneer to the Aussie music industry. We should talk about him and Johnny Zazula as well, both in the same 24-hour period. That was just nuts. And we were both in Tim, you and I in the chat in particular, just thought of what the fuck happened there. So before we get stuck into the fun stuff, let's touch on that. And our condolences to all their families and those that loved and knew them. For Johnny, I guess it's somewhat mitigated by the fact that his wife left him, passed away about a year ago as well. So, the whole thing about being reunited, if you believe in that sort of stuff, is maybe a soft sort of landing on that one. But for the rest of us to get left behind, these are the things that happen now. So, Tim, have you got any thoughts you want to share on Wheatley and Zazula?
On Johnny Zazula, I actually thought Anthrax really left a really nice message as well.
They did,
to him. So I thought, so he's a giant in the industry, especially for our sort of music.
Yep.
And Wheatley's one of those dudes where if he wasn't around, the Australian music industry would be a completely different place. So again, he's a giant for us down here, and his story should be told.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that it did get told quite a bit yesterday, and a lot of people did remember him, even though a lot of people, the casual audience, may not know his name. They really should, because he's a big time player.
Yep. Cool. All right, you, Lee. Anything to add?
Yeah, well, obviously with Glenn Wheatley, I think Tim just said he's been left an impression on the Australian music scene. I think without his input and probably with him get Michael Gudinski throughout the years, we'd be struggling to have a really vibrant music scene within Australia. So I think they're really icons that should be cherished and celebrated as we move forward. But I still think the passing of Johnny Zazula is big in our genre, particularly for the metal scene. Megaforce Records took a chance on a couple of small bands, I guess, at the time in California and obviously Anthrax in New York, and the rest is history. So without Johnny and Marsha doing their work there, I think we never know how big the metal scene may not have been. So they're highly regarded, and it's my adolescence is very grateful for Johnny's input and finding these bands.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how different this whole thing we do here would be without Johnny and Marsha's influence on things. Like, you think about that, that tipping point where, Lars Ulrich left a pretty nice message too on Twitter not so long ago, which was a nice touch as well. It's one of those things where you look back and go, okay, this guy should probably be a bigger name in things with up there with the big names because of their legacy. Like, without this guy and his wife and the family and the work they did, half the bands we talk about wouldn't fucking be around. It's just they might have just imploded by the time they got to do anything at all. So just that taking a chance on things in the early days back then, fucking huge. I mean, you know, without them, I don't know if we get that album in particular, Kill 'Em All. So, you know, it is what it is. It's hard to imagine what we do, how it would look without the influence and the history of Johnny's work there. So that's something there to take into account. So yeah, it's a big deal. And as for Glenn Wheatley, I mean, I know it's not the most hard rock thing in the world, but fuck, if you think about the Australian music scene, like you guys have both discussed, there's no way it looks anything like what it does today if he's not around. He did so much. I mean, even the fact that if you want to talk about it, like his management with, you know, John Farnham and the Whispering Jack album is Australia's highest selling album of all time. So it's just like that alone is worth the impact, not to mention his musicianship and all the other stuff he's done with other things. Like he kept going all the way through. So, you know, it's one of those things where it may not be directly in a wheelhouse, but you can't imagine Australia's music scene without his input. It's just good luck.
John Farnham is still touring right now.
Yeah.
And would he still be without Wheatley?
Well, yeah, most likely not. And the thing is that Wheatley was saying he was probably going to be organising tours and gigs when he was in the retirement home. Like it was just some people have that, they're wired for that passion and they just care about it. And it's, you know, respect where it's due for these people, because without both of them, both of the worlds we live in, both Australia and international, would be entirely different when it comes to music. I can't imagine what it would be like without their input. So it's crazy. Just, yeah. So again, you know, all we can say is condolences to those that love them and are left behind by them. But, you know, at least for what it's worth, you know, from our side of things, if you can walk away leaving a legacy like that, well, that's something you can hang your hat on. If we can all do half as much of that by the time we're done, well, then we've done something pretty special. So thank you for all the work they've done over the years. Not that you get to say it to them in person, but just that it's on the record. It's a nice touch there to have. Got some comments on this too. So Dean's gone, Wheatley, Molly and Godinsky are probably the biggest pioneers to the Aussie music scene, period. Without them, I don't know where the music industry will be, especially in Australia. That's from Dean. It's true, yep. Sally's gone, hey guys, running late. Doesn't matter, you're here. So thank you for joining us. Good to see you here, Sally. Dean also said, I saw Wheatley a couple of times, meters away from me at both John Farnham concerts, and he was behind John Farnham's success. He had a great ear for Aussie talent. That's true, despite what you think about Delta Goodrem, for example. But you can't say she's not talented. I mean, that's all those things there too. Rowan over on YouTube's giving us the horns as always. Fantastic to see you here. Nicole on YouTube, Farnham's voice is incredible still, and that's a testament to the man there too. Like the bloke is still nailing it. No one can ever put a fucking bad word to his performances. Love or hate the music, fuck, he's talented. Jesus Christ. And I love the music personally, for the record. Dean has also, Wheatley put his house on the market for John Farnham to do the Whispering Jack album, hoping it was going to do something, and that it did. Well, it's funny, there's little stories like that over the years. The Kiss record label, the first one, Casablanca Records, basically bet the farm on Kiss having success. And, you know, those little chances, when they pay off, it's the stuff of folklore in the end. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. So before we do move on to the singles, let's have a bit of fun here just shortly. I did put up, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I did put up earlier, a couple of hours ago, a random post, a video where I'm starting to do these little questions of the day on all of our social platforms. And the question for today is, what's your favorite song from Metallica's Kill 'Em All? I've got this because it's in better condition than my CD is, because my CD is beaten the fuck up. But what is your favorite song from Kill 'Em All? Okay, let's go to you first, Lee. Let's put you in the deep end. What's your favorite song? If you can only pick one, what's it going to be?
I have to be the Four Horsemen. I think I put that up on your post earlier, but that's just a galloping kind of rhythm out throughout the song. Just I hear that all the time. I just get excited. Although on a live setting, I must admit the Seek and Destroy kind of at the end is kind of always a good way to finish off, particularly later with all those big blow up balloon balls and that come out when they're live sets. But that's always a bit of fun anyway. But yeah, always the Four Horsemen would be my popular choice.
Cool. Make sure you give us your thoughts in the comments there. We've got Nicole here. She's going Motor Breath, so there's a good choice there as well. There's no bad choices ultimately. But Tim, what about you? Where do you land on that question?
Yeah, Motor Breath was the one that came to mind first.
Okay. Cool.
But if you've ever seen Metallica live, when they're not touring on an album, they do tend to open with Hit the Lights.
Yeah.
And that is a fucking awesome song as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be torn between the two, but my first instinct was Motor Breath.
Okay, cool. Emotionally, I'm torn toward Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. I've always loved that piece of music, but the one that I am going to go with is Seek and Destroy. I know it's cliche, but that riff, I used to sit there and play it on guitar when I was teaching myself to play fucking forever. I used to love, like, that riff is so cool. It's not overly complicated. It's just one of those ones you can start picking up when you're going along, but yeah, fuck, I love that riff. And just the way it's just an aggressive song that gets you fired up, gets you amped up for whatever you're doing that night. It's pretty fucking cool. But I love everything on that album. It's one of those ones where it's just the raw intensity is fucking great. Love it all. But yeah, if I'm going to pick one, Seek and Destroy. Like I said, I know it's the obvious choice, but not a weak album. It's really not a weak album. We've reviewed it before, and like in Metallica vs. Megadeth special and stuff, and it's just fucking solid album. Got some more comments, which is cool. What do we got here? So yeah, Nicole said Motor Breath. Benjamin said N Boss are awesome. Yeah, you should like them because they're from your neck of the woods. We'll get to them in a bit. Dean said Wheatley said he was organising a big concert at the G to welcome back Australian music. What a big event that would have been. That would have been fucking massive. But he's followed that up with, on the Metallica question there, Hit the Lights, first Metallica song I heard. Nice one. Sally's gone Pulling Teeth. I fully agree with that. Darren, Seek and Destroy. Nicole has said there's really not a bad song on this album, which is true. And then back to Wheatley for a second. Dean's gone. Wheatley said in 2020 that him and Farnham were working on a new Farnham album. He was doing so much behind the scenes. Fucking hell. Who knows what? Like in the funny thing about this and Johnny with those two, what's going to come out over the next 5 to 10 years, like what the work they've done and what's still being worked on behind the scenes is going to all come out. It's going to be pretty fucking impressive. When you actually sit back and take the whole span in the light of day, it's going to be pretty fucking nuts. But alrighty, let's move on. Let's get on to the singles though. Here we go. Benjamin's gone. New Zealand metal bands are totally amazing and seriously underrated. That's very true. And I'll try and explore a few more of those this year. But again, we're going to go back to Reckless Love. So again, it's in the comments. It's in the description. The new single from them is Turbo Rider. Something a bit different here to start things off. It's certainly not a Metallica track. We'll go with that. But this is Reckless Love, Turbo Rider. Lee, what are your thoughts on this one?
Really impressed with the video, to be first and foremost. Really, I thought they did a really good job with the video. So, aesthetically and just the kind of futuristic aspects of it, I thought it was really well done. Musically, this band, part of that kind of new wave of that kind of like Santa Cruz and the like. I think they sit very comfortably in that kind of genre where they just produce pretty consistent and pretty awesome kind of melodic hard rock. So. Quite like this song, so yeah, really looking forward to the album release. So
nice, yeah. No, it's coming out on February 25th. The new album. So I think the title track is Turbo Rider. That's what we've got here. So that's what we're going with. Tim, what about you?
I'd be curious to see what like fans of the band think, because it's it's very studio heavy, right?
Yeah.
Because there's like lots of like electronic drums, and there's lots of hard gate stoppages and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, they're going for that kind of futuristic machine world kind of story.
Yeah. Yep.
So it does totally suit the song.
Mm.
So from that perspective, it completely works. So for my first listen, it did take me back, especially when those drums kick in at the start.
Yeah.
But once you kind of get into the swing of the story, it does make sense. And I mean, the song is fantastic as well. Great big chorus, great guitar sound, very Judas Priest kind of guitar sound, I thought as well.
Yeah, the tone's there for that.
So it's a very good song. It's just whether or not you can accept the studio manipulation or not.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be key to it. It's funny because you mentioned fans. I think Dave put up a post. By the way, happy birthday to Dave. For anyone that's missed it today, it's Dave's birthday, so happy birthday to Dave. I know he's had a good day, so that's all good. So Dave is a big fan of Reckless Love, and he was saying that this song took a while to warm up to. Like I think he's really enjoying it now, but it took a minute to get his head around it. These guys, it is very, very studio heavy. It's almost like a synthwave meets metal kind of a thing. There's this weird dichotomy between those two environments that actually works pretty well. Once you get your head around it, it's actually done very well. It's funny that this is coming out at the same time as people are putting things forward for Eurovision and stuff like that, this would be a song you could see going well in that environment.
I see.
I don't know for sure if that's why they've done it, but the timing is there.
It would fit so well, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, we had Voyager do their one the other day, and, we got this one here now. So I think there's a bit of a theme happening at the moment. Yeah, it is very, very electronic. But once you get settled into the riff fucking hits. Like, when it gets that pulse going on this song, it's fucking not bad at all. It's going to be not for everyone. We've got a comment here, which I'll get to in a second. It's not for everyone, but I think it's very, very cool. It's just it's a very metal edge to a synthwave. Kind of reminds me, like you said, the Judas Priest tone, but also got put in mind just how it listens, how it sounds to, how a Supersonic Sex Machine from Steel Panther sounds. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that with the effects going on in the studio and the vocals and that kind of stuff too. So it's effect heavy, but it does pack some punch, which is pretty cool at the same time. Going to the comments here, Darren's gone poo. So good to see you being much more succinct than we are. So very good way to put it there. TC, good to see you, buddy. He's on. Hi guys, good to see Leon tonight. This song is awesome. Takes me back to B-grade 80s movie soundtracks. It is perfect for that kind of stuff.
See, that's the thing, right? If it's a visual for an audio representation of telling a story, it's perfect.
Yes, that's exactly right. Dean's gone, I don't mind it. I like it. Great band, which is cool. He's also followed it up with Judas Priest sound, maybe some Def Leppard vibes. That's kind of fair as well, I'd say, too, with the heavy production on it. Now, let's get to a band that I expected to have more effects on it, but then we didn't get those effects. And this is the latest from Shinedown. So in the comments, in the description, you're going to find the new track from Shinedown, which is Planet Zero. Lee, you found this one and sent it through to me in the Patreon group. We're going to go to Tim first on this one. How'd you go with this one?
Solid Jinko jeans and wallet chain action. I thought it was good, man. Like 7-string guitar, like it is what it is from Shinedown. It's 2 and 3 note riffs with a big open chorus, and the lyrics are very American.
Yeah.
But that it is what it is. But again, like I thought the chorus was catchy, and I mean, it is like we're not Shinedown. They're just doing what we expect them to do, and if you like that formula, then cool. If not, then it's not going to change your mind. But cool. There's a new album out soon, so
yep.
Yeah.
What about you, Lee?
My first impression was I guess my interest had waned in the band in recent times, so I thought I was quite impressed when I first heard the opening couple of seconds. Like, wow, all right, they're a bit of a return to form some of the earlier days there. So I was like, oh, all right, I'll sit through this. If the rest of the album's in that higher kind of pace and heavier rock, I'm probably looking forward to it. So I thought it was a good, for me, a return to form for me. So hopefully some more similar kind of product on the upcoming album.
Now, I'm the same as you. I'd agree with that completely. I think that for me, I've been a fan of the band for a long time. I found them on the Sound of Madness, and I love that album. It's one of my favorite albums. And this one, they've gone sort of progressively further and further away from that sort of southern heavy rock or heavy or metal style almost. Since then, just step by step, bit by bit, to the point where it was getting very Americanized, pop influenced. That was like, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy much more of their stuff. This one though seems to go back to the old days, but it also hasn't forgotten little production things they've learned over the years of doing the newer stuff, but they haven't oversaturated it either. They've done a really good job mixing like old and new from this band. So if the whole album is going to be like this, it's going to be a fucking cracker. It's be like, okay, this is going to be a very cool return to form. It's there's catchy hooks in this, nice groove. I like the groove. The pulse on this song is really infectious, and it's one of those things where, as far as a lead single goes, this is going to set the tone for the album. So that's my hope. But I do like this one a lot. It's coming from the expectation side of things. It's like, okay, cool. This is more like what I'm looking for from this band. So hopefully the album's going to be like this one. The album is called Planet Zero. It's due for release on April 22nd. So if this gets your attention, bookmark the date and that album will be out then. Let's go to comments here. So TC's joined us as always. Again, like I was saying before, he's gone, Sound of Madness is a killer album. Hope they go back to that sound. I love that album, man. That fucking, yeah, love it. The song is awesome. Tom on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. Big fan of this band. They're not breaking any new ground, but it's a great song. There we go. That's very true as well. Like, that's pretty much what Tim was saying as well. Conrad's going, never listened to Shinedown, but did see them at Grasshopper in 2017. They were very impressive live. Yeah, they're very good live. I've got a couple of live shows on disc and that, and they're fucking phenomenal. I've got one, I forget what it's called now, but it's like they did one night full electric, one night full acoustic. It's a great show both nights. Dean says, I like this heavy riff coming album 22nd of April. Would they come down there to tour the album? Oh, I don't know anymore. Have they played here as a headline or support band? I'm not sure, to be honest.
Ordinarily they'd tour here, but at the moment I don't know.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot more things to be cancelled than pushed forward at this point in time. So I'd be probably wait until 23, not 22.
They would headline a kind of a hi-fi billboard kind of size room.
Yeah, that or corner, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, they're not a Rod Laver one. They're not
that kind of 7 to 1,000 capacity room.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good idea. Festival Hall would be a good one for them too. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's a big room. That's a big room, though.
I think they could do all right. I think
it's a 5,000 seater.
Yeah, I reckon they go okay. They've got radio play here at least, so I think they go all right. Nicole says, tad strange. I like it, but I don't really. A bit new wave for me. That's fair enough there too. That's all right. Dean's gone, I will bookmark the album. Dean's gone, then with Alter Bridge. That'd be a pretty good show, actually. Add Blackstone and Cherry into the mix, and I'll be fucking happy. Sally's gone, love this band. This song is big and bad with that voice. For some reason, my ear gets a bit done with it. Not sure why, but I like this. Okay, cool. Nice. Random question from Ben over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, as always. Favorite Metallica album? Just before we move on to the next singles. Favorite Metallica album? Hotspot. Tim, let's go to you first.
Ride the Lightning.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lee?
Concur, Tim. Ride the Lightning. I used to go to sleep to Fade to Black every night for about 2-3 years, but yeah, it's always in my heart, that album. So yeah, Ride the Lightning.
Yeah. It chops and changes for me a bit. Probably the two closest ones are probably Master of Puppets and Justice for All. And probably these days I'm leaning a little bit more toward Justice for All. I just love the intensity of it. Just love the intensity of it.
That would be my number 2.
Yeah, it's like that. Just something about that album. I just love it. And just the instrumental, like To Live Is To Die, that kind of stuff, and Dyer's Eve. Like there's some good, solid tracks across.
Radiance of Insanity.
Yeah. So, yes. But Ride the Lightning, fuck that. You could go anywhere between those three. You're set. Like, you don't need to go much. I've got some comments coming through on this one too. What do we got here? Jeff on YouTube. Good to see you here, buddy. He's gone Turbo Rider. Wow, is that Den Den on guitar? Looks like him. I'm sure he probably wants to murder me right now. Stuff that Dennis would go great on these days, isn't it? If you look at his stuff, like he's doing the what's that gig he's doing these days? Fuck. Can't remember.
Oh, the Bendy.
Yeah, the Shockers. What is that?
Yeah. Aftershockers.
Aftershockers, yes. Sorry, I see so many things coming through fucking every day. Yes, but Aftershockers, that'd be the sort of thing that'd be a lot of fun for Dennis. All right, on to the Metallica one. Nicole has gone Master of Puppets. Tom says Ride the Lightning. Dean says Black Album. Cool. First album Metallica I ever heard. That's in my heart. It got a soft spot for it, which is fair enough as well. Music speaks to us in different ways. Sally's gone. Okay, easier question, please. Lightning, I think. It is a hard one. And Dean's also gone, even Death Magnetic for me and Master of Puppets. Death Magnetic I like, but I hate the fucking production. It irks me no end. That would be so good with good production. Fucking sounds like...
You can say the same thing for Justice for All, though.
Yeah, but... Like, there's a lack of something versus something being crunched to the fucking shithouse. And Justice give it a pass because they're younger. When they know better, after the Black Album, you're coming off of the Black Album production, you go to that. It's like, no. Anyway, in terms of production standards, you went up and then you stayed there for a while with the load and reload, and then off you went. Anyway, Jeff has also said Lightning and Puppets as well. So it's a very hard one, but keep them coming, guys. We're going to move on to the next question. We're going to go over to New Zealand now. Dean says Death Magnetic needed better production. This is very, very true. All right, but next one coming up, we will go into the comments again later on, is N-Boss from New Zealand. The track is Punished. And Lee, you found this one for us. So while we talk about it, check it out. It's in the comments. It's in the description. But Lee, you found this one. I had no idea about this until you sent it across the desk. So how did you find it, and what do you think of it?
Accidental finding, Andrew. Honestly, yeah. I've never heard of him before last week. So I think Bandcamp just popped up on the little thing, and I was like, "Huh, okay, put it on." Female vocals, New Zealand band. I thought, okay, yep, I quite like it. It's not that I'm that familiar with, really, other than Stalker. That's about the only other New Zealand metal band, and that was quite impressed. So yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing more of this band.
It's very cool. But yeah, before I give my thoughts, Tim, what about you?
Yeah, I liked it. It had kind of a it was very fat riffy musically, but once you add the vocals on top of it, it had almost kind of like a goth rock vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really dug it. I'd love to hear it in the context of a full record. So yeah, nice chunky guitars. Big fan.
I agree with everything you guys have said. The vocals are fucking outstanding on this, but I loved the swing and the swagger on this track. Just the way it moved, the pulse of this thing is fucking really captivating. It's got the down-tuned guitars and stuff, so it's heavy, it's chuggy, but just the way the drums and the bass are able to move this song, and the vocals are back of it too, which makes them almost, yeah, like you said, the goth kind of, it's almost like a haunting kind of layer in there. It's very well done. Not a lot of stuff like this kicking around, which I thought was very, very cool. In terms of vocals, the closest I found to this rather is Smoking Martha out of Queensland. But these guys are a lot heavier, darker, and sludgier than Smoking Martha are. So this is one song you've got to check out, I reckon. This is going to be very, very cool. Got some comments coming through on that one. Sorry, before we go on onto the Metallica one, very quickly, Jeff says you can't pick just one, and that's very true when it comes to Metallica albums. Conrad says, best New Zealand band I've ever seen was Beast Wars. Can't wait for them to come back over and play Melbourne again. Them and Alien Weaponry. That would be fucking fantastic for me. I'd love to see Alien Weaponry again. Dean said...
12 Foot Sativa.
Yeah, 12 Foot Sativa would be fucking great too. Fuck yes. Dean says, I like it. They'll go well with Devil Skin, another good band as well. I think upcoming album is, the album is coming apparently. It's a new album, They Seek My Head, is due on April the 8th this year. That's when it's coming out. Tom says, reminds me of the artist Dorothy. Yes, such a great voice, great group. That's a very true one there too. Nice choice there. Jeff says, N-Boss, like a psychedelic groove doom thing going. Interesting. Nice.
Yeah.
Nicole, I
kind of compare it to like if Courtney Barnett sang for Crowbar.
That kind of makes sense.
It's that higher pitched rambling vocal, but it's that southern drawl guitar.
Yeah, there's something about it, isn't there? But it drags you in. It does drag you in. It's really cool. Nicole said, struggled for a few seconds, sorry, not my bag. Sounds like a mess to my ears. Maybe I'm deafer than I thought. We'll see how you go with the next one. But it's all good. Like, I like getting different opinions here. Dean says them and Hailstorm, maybe. I reckon they'd be heavier than Hailstorm at the moment on current pace. But hey, I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. But now let's move on to an Aussie act. Let's do an Aussie act for a single here. And this is another one that Lee found for us. Or Lee's been keeping track of this one, I should say, for a little while. So I've been relying on Lee to keep up to date with what this band is doing. This is the Neptune Power Federation. So they've got a new album coming out soon as well. Very soon, actually. And we'll get to all the details in that in a second. Before we do, Nicole's gone, I'm old, leave me alone. Oh, you'll be fine. So in the comments, in the description, the Neptune Power Federation is the band. The song is Emmaline. That is the new single from that band. And Lee, we'll go to you first on this one too.
I just popped up and saying that this is some kind of a super group. So I think Troy from Model Sin, I think maybe Jay, maybe from Frenzal Rhomb or something like that, is a bit of a regular or players from the Australian music scene are in this band, but the lead singer, just the outfits and stuff, seeing in the film, it's always like, wow, it's mind blowing. So I think these guys would be awesome to see live. But again, only new to the band recently, so quite impressed what I've heard so far. So a bit different to what I normally listen to, but it's quite a different palette than my normal musical ventures. But I'm really impressed by what I've heard so far.
Nice. there's been a couple of tracks now that you've sent through, which have both been pretty cool. But Tim, how'd you go with this one?
I loved it. I love this.
Yep.
How do I put it? Because initially when it kicked off, don't take this the wrong way, but it sounded like Mother by Wolf, Woman by Wolfmother.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean. There's that.
Yeah. Now, forget. I know people don't like Wolfmother, but I do, so I take it as a compliment. But then it moved forward into this kind of like, it's got more swing and more groove than Wolfmother ever had.
Yes.
But it also got this like, it kind of reminds me of like a Rob Zombie attitude, even though it sounds nothing like Rob Zombie. Like there is this ultimate like I don't care like feeling to it, and it's just great. I love the way the vocals sit on top. The bridge is fantastic, and it's everything about this is great. I'd love to hear more of this. Yeah.
Well, chances are you will, because we'll probably be reviewing it when it comes out.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. The new album, for those that are curious, is Le Démon de l'Amour, I think it is, and that's dropping on February 14th. So that's, something for Valentine's Day there, everyone. So if you like this, bookmark the date for that one. This is different. I do appreciate the Rob Zombie reference. It's not so. It's just in the attitude of it all, I guess, and also the video kind of leans stuff into the playful horror kind of stuff there too. But it's a
that's it. Playful horror. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I helped with the description there for it. But it's really rooted in the old school blues, but at the same time, it's got some fucking groove on it. Like, this thing is awesome in that regard. I like the female vocals on this one too. There's something about them that adds an element to this that you don't really hear a lot of too. There's some great harmonies in this too. If you like it sort of punchy, groovy, and a bit of it's almost like Rob Zombie meets stoner rock kind of a vibe. It's a really interesting melting pot of stuff going on in this song. I said it's based in the blues, but there's a lot more going into it too when you start digging into the song. It's really, really cool. The couple of tracks Lee sent through from this outfit have been pretty impressive. So yeah, we're definitely going to be reviewing that in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one, folks. But yeah, this is very, very cool. Very, very interested to check out more from that one. Going back to the comments here, Dean's gone, like the swagger guitar riff to this, impressive, very nice. TC says, sounds an awful lot like Wolfmother. There you go. Tim said the same thing. Joker and the Thief with female vocals. That's a fair reference as well there. Nicole says, music is awesome. I struggle with female vocals, and that's okay too. Everyone's got different points of view there. Jeff says, these guys sound like a cross between Shakespeare's Sister and Fireball Ministry. Fuck, there's some names. What do we got here? Darren says she scares me more than Papa Emeritus, and that's a fair point too. So from Ghost, for those that aren't paying attention there. And Sally says, had a quick listen. It's funky, but the Wolfmother thing is there. I liked it. Nice. Very cool. All right. So going back to a couple of comments here, just if you're on Facebook, help Conrad out here. He's gone, can you tell me anything about the Avalanches, please? As it is the only gig on Saturday night in Melbourne. Are they worth seeing? Question mark.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So,
okay. Go for it, Tim.
Oh, Arcane Saints played with them on about a couple of years ago. They're fucking awesome.
Yep.
A great band. They kind of like I would say like a mix between like a hard rock, like an AC/DC meets very AC/DC meets kind of old school blues.
Yep.
They're great. They're a fucking great band. Not only that, they're playing with Dreadful Tides and Shotgun Mistress.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good lineup. Fuck me, that's a really good lineup.
Wait, is that Saturday night or is it Sunday night?
Saturday.
All right. Well, I know they played on Sunday night at our last chance with Dreadful Tides and Shotgun Mistress.
Wow.
Saturday night, I don't know who the fuck they played with. But they are a fucking awesome band. You should definitely go see them. Yeah, they're all wonderful people too. Like when I played with them, their drummer was still underage.
Oh wow! Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, they came down from Sydney with the dude's dad because it was the only way to get into the venues.
Fuck. That's impressive. That's commitment.
Yeah, so definitely go check them out. They're fucking awesome.
Nice. Here we go. Dean's also responded saying, Conrad, if you love AC/DC, Airborne, The Angels, and Rose Tattoo, you'll love them. Go check them out. Great band, very energetic rock and roll band. So there we go. That crosses over what you were saying there, Tim, pretty nicely. Conrad is saying sold. So there we go. That's easy. And Sally's also saying cool gig. Yes, go for sure. Nice. All right. Okay. Now we're going on to we've done the singles. Let's do a discussion piece in a second here. Dean says Saturday night they play at 1 a.m. at Cherry. I'm going to be chatting with them. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Go for it. That's awesome.
Beautiful. All right. A bit of a fun one here. We'll spend a couple of minutes on this one, then we'll start moving on to the draft that we're going to do tonight. And that is what albums would we like to see release some glow-in-the-dark playable vinyl, not pop vinyl, which we discussed in the pre-roll before we went live. It's actual vinyl releases. So it's inspired by Ginger are releasing a limited edition set of all their albums on vinyl with glow-in-the-dark obviously abilities. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they're making it so that their albums are glow in the dark, which would be fucking cool to play. So I just thought we'd have a quick bit of fun here and just rattle off some bands we would like to see do this sort of a concept. If you've got any in your mind, get in the comments and let us know what you'd like to put into this little run of things there too. But Tim, let's go to you first. What comes to mind for you?
All right, so I'll be perfectly honest with you. The first thing that comes to mind is, thank God this was not an option for the orange album. Because, you know, there would have been some fluoro orange glow-in-the-dark vinyl happening.
Yeah.
It has that. But to be perfectly honest, I've got no idea because like what metal bands aren't doing. Because if you're a metal band, the color that you pick is black, right? Yeah. And if it's not black, it's the blood splatter red.
Blood, yeah.
And they're the most metal colors out there. Actually, now that I come to think of it, Party Cannon.
Yes. Party Cannon would be good for this. They'd actually be perfect, wouldn't they? Party Cannon.
Yeah, that's the only real band I can think of, because who else is doing like fluoro color? There's probably tons of 80s style bands, but I mean, somebody said, you know, the thing that everybody gets wrong about the 80s is that it wasn't all fluoro. It was mostly just brown and cigarette butts.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. Well, we'll get on to the 80s a bit more in a second. But Lee, anything come to mind for you that jumps up?
Well, owing itself to glitz and glamour and bright lights and neon and stuff, I guess you say any of those 80s kind of releases would probably bode well to it. But I think any kind of band logo with a kind of bright colour, Overkill kind of comes to mind as something with that fluoro green would be probably pretty good if they had albums there. But I'm not really sure about that, so not really sure why you need to have the fluoro. I think I like the splatter, blood splattered vinyl. I think that's one of my favourite parts of the vinyl collection.
Yeah,
and the old picture discs are always good too.
Yeah, picture discs are good. Yeah,
I'll give you one other band.
Yeah,
I'm sure it would work. Kiss.
Yeah, that's a given. That's a given. We're getting some comments coming through on this too, which is actually cool. I'll get to those in a second. I did make a little list here, which is there's some ones here I'm looking. Oh fuck, okay. There's ones that I've missed, but Ghost. I think if you think of Square Hammer, the video clip for Square Hammer, how they did that, that'd be a cool vinyl effect to have as a glow in the dark. I've just gone with ones that sort of make good album artworks in general, which is where you sort of start playing with maybe the picture disc format and the glow in the dark kind of idea. Iron Maiden, Kiss, which has been mentioned, Black Sabbath. I'd like to see them do something like that. It'd be pretty funny to see them do it. Pink Floyd, I reckon it'd fucking smoke it. Literally. But yeah, I reckon that'd be pretty good there too. Rob Zombie, I reckon he could nail fluoro vinyl. But also Judas Priest. Just it's the regular offenders when it comes to really good artwork, but I think those ones kind of come to mind for me. But maybe Motley Crue as well, for the glitzy glamour kind of stuff there too. But we've got some cool comments on this one. Tom says Suicidal Tendencies could do a camo vinyl. That's very true.
That'd very cool.
That'd be very cool. Conrad has got one for us here. Monster Magnet, Clutch, I agree with Clutch, and Mastodon, 4 glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Yes, Mastodon.
Yeah.
Mastodon would fucking rock it. Clutch would too, for that matter. Sally's gone Steel Panther, Hot Pink. That would be very, very cool. I reckon that could work. Nicole says Diamond Dave, and that's very fitting as well. Dean says Whitesnake. Tim, TC, says any Wasp album, which is very true there too. Dean says Metallica. Sally says yes, Zombie. So cool, got that agreeing with me there. And Dean says AC/DC we're sick with what they represent. That's true as well, and also Judas Priest there too. So keep them coming. Just it's a random little fun one there. Any sort of albums or bands you like to see release some vinyl that glows in the dark. That would be a bit of fun. But now it's time to go to the 80s, which is kind of fitting. There's a nice little segue here. We're going to go to my little random name thing here because we're going to play a blind draft. And the blind draft is we're going to go through 5 rounds, and we're going to try to pick the best. Sorry, bear with me here for a second. Just doing something here on the fly because it's going to be fucking hard for me to keep track of anything if I don't do it. So we're going to be doing this where we're basically going to be drawing out. I'll draw out a name at random, and then from that point, we're going to be starting to rattle off or try to pick out our best albums from 1985. We'll get 5 choices. The drawing is at random.
Wait. What year is it?
87, sorry. Did I say 85?
Thank God.
Yeah, no, 87. 87. Sorry, not bad. I've got fucking 5 rounds and 87. I fucking mashed it in my head, so it's all a bit fucking weird. Yes, 1987 is the year. So the idea here is for us to try and come up with the best 5 albums on a list that once someone has chosen one, though, we can't go and redraft it. So it's a draw. Once the album is gone, it's gone. That's the concept here. We get to play with the rules, but you out there at home watching along in the comments, let us know your top 5 albums from 1987 while we go through this one here. So it's all going to be drawn at random, and once an album is gone, it is gone. So first cab off the rank is Tim. So what are you going to take off the board?
The best album released of that year, Abigail by King Diamond.
Cool. All righty. That's one down. Next up, Lee.
I'm going to steer away from the obvious choice, but I'll go with Once Bitten by Great White.
Ooh, nice. Sorry, if I don't type these down, I'm not going to be able to. So forgive the typing noise here, folks. But
Right.
Yeah, we don't have a producer to do this stuff.
No, we don't. It's all done on the fly. Produced and co-host. It's all a bit of a fucking mess. So it is what it is. This is where you get on a poor budget. Okay, so for me, my first choice then, what am I going to take off the board? Ooh, bloody hell. If we're going to try and stay away from the super obvious ones here, you know what? I'm going to take Ozzy Osbourne Tribute. I'm going to take that one off the board. All righty. Round 2. Here we go. And I get to double up. So for those that are doubting, I do have the random thing here. It does draw it at random. So for my next one, all right, staying away from the obvious, I'm going to go next to... Yeah, let's do this one. I'm going to go Voivod, Killing Technology. Just something different. I'm not sure why. I just feel like doing something different. Tim, you're up next. What have you got?
Rock and Roll by Motorhead.
No, I was waiting for that to go off the board. I figured that'd go.
It was a tactical choice to pick it started earlier, but
yeah. Oh well, I do miss. I'm spewing. I missed it, but I knew it was going to happen. Lee, what have you got for your next choice?
I think you have to go down to the thrash realm, and I think Death Angel's debut, The Ultraviolence, would be one for me.
Nice.
Very good album.
You are a fan of that one.
Good band too.
Yeah, very good band. All righty. Time for round 3. Apologies, folks. I can't see comments, so if we're boring the fuck out of you, I can't see it. I'm sorry. I get to go first again. Shit. What have we got? Fuck it. Let's go Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation. Was that your next one, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you get no time to think. Now it's over to you. So what are you going to take?
Right, I'll take another popular one off the board. Whitesnake album.
Nice. You can see Lee's reaction.
Man, Tommy Aldridge is such a boss drummer.
Yeah, it's very
It's
true.
impossible not to like it.
Yeah. All right, Lee, what have you got for your third choice?
Okay. What we got? Keeper of the Seven Keys.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, another good album.
Part 1.
Yep. Nice. Alrighty, we've got 2 more choices left each. First one up is Lee, so you get to go back to back.
Oh, all right. I'll go to stay with the thrash side of things. Anthrax, Among the Living. Just love that album.
Nice, very good choice. Solid. All right, my choice next. All right, I'll take it, actually. I'm going to go with Motley Crue, Girls. I'm going to take that one off the board, which means, Tim, what have you got?
I can't believe this hasn't gone yet. Judas Priest live.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to go. I knew that'd happen. All right, final choices. Here we go. Last round. Tim, you're up first. Go back to back.
Oh, thank God. I was going to pick between these two for the last one. But here we go. Suicidal tendencies. Join the army.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case. All righty. Next up is me. All right, what am I going to pick for my last one here? I'm going to go with Dio, Dream Evil. Underrated album, I reckon. Underrated album. All righty. So, Lee, what have you got?
Again, I'm going to go back to Pioneer. I have to go with Chuck Schuldiner with Death's Scream Bloody Gore for
nice.
Completely scared me when I was a young man hearing them for the first time.
Great album.
Very nice choice. And that is the end of it. That is our 5 rounds. None of us picked Guns N' Roses, which I'm actually kind of happy about. We all steered away from the completely fucking blindingly obvious one. That makes this kind of a fair fight. Do you know what I mean? Because whoever picks Guns N' Roses, is probably going to take it.
All right, I will be honest. I do think that's the best album released that year.
It is, in all fairness. I'm not going to... but if we're going to do something a bit different here, we wanted to try and make this one... Because I know it's always going to go in the comments. Same with Def Leppard. It's always going to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I wanted to find some of the difference. I'm glad we all kind of took the same vibe out of this. We didn't speak about this at all beforehand. This was really, really rushed, last minute, kind of added to the show here tonight. But that's cool. So let's rattle off the lists and let us know who you think you agree with. So for Lee, he picked Great White, Once Bitten, Death Angel, The Ultraviolence, Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. Anthrax, Among the Living, and Death with Scream Bloody Gore. That is Lee's choices there. Tim's list is King Diamond's Abigail, Motorhead, Rock and Roll, Whitesnake with the self-titled album, Judas Priest Live, and Suicidal Tendencies, Join the Army. That's those 5 there. And for my list, it was Ozzy Osbourne Tribute, Voivod Killing Technology, Aerosmith Permanent Vacation, Motley Crue Girls, and Dio Dream Evil. So those are the different lists we've got there. Let us know which one you like the most, and I'll quickly rattle off some questions, some comments here about the best albums. Jesus Christ. Okay, we got comments. Scroll through a bit. What do we got here? So back to the glow in the dark for a second. Cicada Stone, Glow in the Dark. That'd be pretty cool for them. And Roland says John's Glow in the Dark, a song. Yes, that's very true as well. Okay, on to the 87 albums. Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King from Daniel. Very good choice. Very, very good choice. Dean says Whitesnake. Nicole says Manowar, Fighting. That's one that's popular out there as well. Daniel says Razormaid, First Cut. Very cool. Nicole says Voivod, Sabotage, Anthrax. Daniel, Overkill, Taking Over. Yep, nice ones here. Jeff says Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King. Doc and Back with the Attack. Dio, Dream Evil. Joe Satriani, Surfing with the Alien. I was wondering when someone's going to mention that one in particular, but yes, there's some great fucking albums here. Nicole says Halloween. Man Family, good to see you here. They've gone Surfing with the Alien, Joe Satriani as well. Dean says In Excess Kick, and that's an overlooked album from that year in all the fucking grand scheme of things. That's a cracker. Tom says Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, Whitesnake, Def Leppard, Hysteria, The Cult, Electric, very cool album too, and Dio, Dream Evil, nice. Dean also goes with Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Then we got Man Family, definitely Hysteria. Same with Dean, he's the same thing there. And then Suicidal Tendencies, Join the Army from Man Family. Tom says, honorable mention, TNT, Tell No Tales. Very cool there as well. And an overlooked one as well from Dean, Midnight Oil, Diesel and Dust. Getting through them now. Rowan says, Def Leppard, Hysteria, TNT, Tell No Tales, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. Nice list. While Caesar works out how to open the door himself. Well done. Dean likes my list. Sally likes Tim's list. Rowan goes, wait, Surfing with the Alien came out in 1987. As far as I'm aware, yeah. Pretty sure it did.
Which one?
Joe Satriani. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 87 from memory.
Yeah.
And Tim says Lee has the best list. So I've got one for each of us on the best lists there. So that's a nice little we haven't declared a winner. We're probably not going to declare a winner, but that was a bit of fun there. We'll chop this one up and have some fun with it later on. But I don't know what Steve's doing. He's like opened the door enough for him to get out, but he's just standing there looking at the darkness outside. So fuck to know what that dog's doing.
He does what my dog does, which is calculating how much do I need to pee versus how cold is it outside.
That's very true, actually. That's very true. He's kind of going to lay down. Yeah, he's laying down with his nose sort of just at the edge of the door there. Oh, here we go. We do have a winner. Nicole says Lee's list as well. So, Lee, you're up first, and you've taken you've picked us at the post. So, well done. Nice list. All right. And here's how didn't know In Excess release. There's a lot. 87 was a huge year. You'd be amazed how many albums were out in that year. We barely scraped the surface. We did the 87 special on TV, which part one is tonight on Channel 44 in Adelaide. So tune into that at 10 p.m. Australian Central Daylight Time. But we did the 2-hour special last Saturday in Melbourne, and we've got a King of the Riff 87 tournament coming up online soon as well. So there's a lot. And we barely scratched the surface for all this kind of stuff here too. What do you want, dog? He's just sort of coming over to me now. It's like, you can get out if you want. All right, what do we got here? So Conrad says 87 by Whitesnake, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses, Among Living Anthrax, Sabotage, Holy Mountain King, Metallica, 598, Garage EP Days. Yeah, that's one there. That's one there. Rowan says, wait, no, was because I forgot to include surfing on my list. Okay. So give me all the time to look through a list of albums released in 87. Lots. And Nicole says 83 for me. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. All righty, there is a lot of good years in the 80s. But let's move on to our first review so we can get a couple done and then Lee can get off bed before we keep going all bloody night. But the first review for tonight, hang on, sorry. Just a quick new one here from YouTube. Good to see you. V Jizzit. I'm not sure what sort of username, but that's what we've got here. Sodom Persecution Mania. There we go. Cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. Alrighty, but anyway, first review for tonight out of 3 is Lawnmower Deth, Blunt Cutters. Okay, and for the reference track for that, we have Lawnmower Deth with Raise Your Snails. Raise Your Snails is the reference track. It's in the description. It's in the comments. You know what to do. Go and look it up while we have a chat about this little album here. So this is Lawnmower Deth with Blunt Cutters. 18 tracks, 34 minutes. The 4th studio album from the English band released January 2022 via Cherry Red Records. Produced by Chris Clancy. 3 singles have been released, including Death, Maim, Kill, and Into the Pit. This is the band's first album since Billy in 1993, so it's a 29-year gap. And I have to give a special shout-out to Lee, because he was the one that brought this to my attention and made me add it to our little release list, and we've gone over it here. So we'll give you a second to sit there. Lee, Tim, let's go to you first.
This is fucking awesome. The moment I saw 18 tracks for 30 minutes, I knew this was going to be my kind of album.
Yeah.
It's just 30 minutes of punky, thrashy goodness.
Mm.
It is the right kind of stupid.
Yeah.
You know, what's it called? Space Herpes. Raise Your Snails. Like, it's just the right kind of fun. And Lawnmower Deth, like,
yeah, yep.
Who doesn't think this band kind of sounds like a lawnmower?
It's there.
You know, it's awesome. Like, like, there are points where I was listening to this and it was like, it's kind of a thrashy punk, and then it's points where it's like, it's a punky thrash, and it's that nice middle ground in between.
Mm.
Of, you know, just a nice crossover sound without being a crossover sound. There's still kind of some originality to it. Obviously, there's a bit of a grindcore influence there as well with the song styles. But I thought when this band was at its best, when it got like a nice D-beat groove and a halftime riff over the top of it, they groove like all hell. Yeah. And it was fantastic. Loved it. 8.5 out of 10. Nice. Into the Pit, Bastard Squad, and Raise Your Snails are my highlights. My only criticism was the very last track, Angel of COB. Now,
okay,
I actually thought it was a great song. I just didn't think it fit on the album.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So it was a bit of a extraneous album where I thought it sounded like they'd written a song that I knew was good, but they didn't know what to do with it. And for mine, I think that sort of a track is better off as a single separate from the album, released at a different time. On this album, it just felt a little bit out of place to me. But if you're going to put it on the album, the last place is the place to put it. Last song is the place to put it.
Yep.
So that's a good thing. But yeah, in the middle of the album wouldn't have worked. But yeah, for me, it still just took me out of it.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I get it. Not sure I completely agree, but I get it. But
It is a good song. That's the thing.
Pardon?
It is a good song. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's hard to dismiss it, but yeah. Anyway, all right, cool, nice. We're off to a good start. Lee, what do you think?
I'm not going to not like this album, so just say welcome back, you magnificent bastards from England. Big stupid dose of fun. What more can you say? As I said, it's short, punchy, 2-minute ditties. It's that punk crash. I don't know. It's been 28 years since the last album. Not sure why the long hiatus, but welcome back. To start off with Into the Pit. It's it's a ripper of a song, showcasing just the whole tight musicianship. But these veterans of just good players, and I just think said a bit of humour all the way throughout the songs, the titles. Raise Your Snails are just. I'm gonna sit back. I have to have a chuckle. It's good. One of those things you can just bounce around the house with a beer in your hand. It's fucking awesome. It's just it's half an hour of pure joy.
Nice, cool. What were your favourite tracks on it?
Probably the singles Into the Pit, and Raise Your Snails. I just want to think about Tim's comment before the last one, but and Space Herpes really like those three in particular. But it's you get quirky and go, have a bit of a chuckle, but it's just good solid thrash. Nothing more, but it's harmless fun.
Yeah, cool. Any idea what you give it out of 10?
For me, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice, cool. I'm going to make you sort of drill in on that. So think ahead for the next one, because that's you got to think ahead of that one. Alrighty. For mine, it's been covered. This is just fun, thrashy, punky kind of goodness. The attitude is awesome on this. There's no frills. It's just straight ahead. It's blunt. This would be nuts live in all the good ways. Seeing this at like Festival Hall would be fucking insane. It'd be so good. It would be fucking impressive. That said, for all the sort of directness of it, they've got this groove. The way they play with groove and tempo really makes these songs jump apart from each other. Like this isn't just, 30 minutes of the same thing. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of maturity in this. For as fun as it is, there's a lot of maturity in the actual craft overall. Really enjoyed the musicality on it. The lyrics suited as well. There's some fun, but there's actually some sharp commentary in this as well. It's not without a little barb here and there, which is a nice little sort of, okay, here's the fun part, and then we're just going to suck a punch, and then here's the fun part, and then we'll just make you think a bit more. And so clever, so well done. I love the mix. The mix is really fucking cool on this. Like, for the amount of rawness they've got on the guitar, but the drums and bass are really warm, and the way they balance it out, put the vocals just sitting right in the perfect spot, in that sweet spot for it. So well done. The mix on this is perfect. I liked how panning was used too to sort of, give accent to things nicely. This is really well balanced. For something that's not overly complicated, there's a lot of attention to detail, and I really did enjoy that aspect of it as well. The little, bites, like those sound bites, and there's little takes on things like the advert that what song is it? The fuck, now I can't find it. Swafega, whatever it is. Yeah, that's like a commercial kind of thing. Like that's like all those things are just so much fun. It's just really, really cool. There's hooks, which there's parts of this you're going to see. If you were to see this live, you'd see people singing along to this stuff in no time. It's just so catchy. It's impressively well done in that side of things too. And like I said, this whole thing is not boring. It's a short listen, but it's fucking entertaining the whole way through. And there's a lot of bang for buck. Now, onto the last track. I thought closing with Agency of COB was a nice touch. I enjoyed it. I understand what you're saying about how it takes you out of the mindset that you're in, but it just showed there's a bit more to these guys and just, fun stupidity and a bit of sharpness here and there. This was actually a really cutting song and kind of dystopian, and I was really, really happy with it. I thought it was a darker twist that was just a nice way to sort of wrap up the album, and it made it actually kind of easy to repeat spin, because that would be where your normal half length of an album kind of thing would almost be. So it's almost kind of like your midpoint before you flip it and go again. So I really did enjoy this one. If you like anything from the young ones through the Motorhead, get on this one. This is really fucking cool. Thank you, Lee, that you found a good one here. I enjoyed this one a lot. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. I chose my standouts. Now he's a priest, Into the Pit, and Agency of COB. So, now he's a priest. You can make of that what you will. I think everyone knows what that one's going to be about there. But very clever stuff, very fun. I really did enjoy that. That was cool. Thank you for that. All righty. Got some comments on this one too. All right. Nicola said, solid. Sounds like SOD. Very cool. TC says, Lawnmower Deth did an awesome cover of Kids in America in the early 90s. Then in 2016, Kim Wilde joined them on stage. Not only sung Kids in America, but she also learned 2 of their songs sung with them as well. That was like the peak for these guys from learning through the history of it all there too, which is very, very cool moment for them. Dean says, I checked out the album, really like the production. Have they come to Australia? Love the name. I don't know if they've come here before. Lee, have you got any idea on that at all? Has anyone got any idea if they've been to Australia? Because I don't recall them being here. I might be wrong, though. If anyone knows, let us know. Conrad says, good fun, old school thrash. Saw these guys in London several times. A great fun show. Nice. Cool. TC says, this album is so good. Brendan, if you're there, you've got to let us know what you think of this one because Tim and I are both convinced this is straight up Brendan's alley. He will love it. Yeah. He will love it. Dean says, Lawnmower Deth sound like something from The Simpsons or South Park. That's probably very true there as well. He said it was a 7.5 out of 10 from him. Thought Motorhead and early Metallica sounding, especially in the guitars and drums. Yeah, that's that little raw edge. That was very, very cool. I like that aspect of it there too. Going back to the 5 albums from 87, Darren on YouTube, thank you for joining us. King Diamond, Abigail, Sabotage, Hall of Mountain King, Voivod, Killing Technology, Warlock, Triumph and Agate's another good one as well, and Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. Very cool. TC is saying, check out the band members' names as well. Tim, list them off for us if you're going to be sitting there doing that while we... I know they're funny. I forget them now off the top of my head, but they are entertaining. They're very, very cool. And normally, it's funny because for the first time in ages, I normally write down the lineup on a review, and I haven't done it this time around. And right when this fucking comment comes up is when the day I haven't done it. So it's fucking typical of me, isn't it? It's just the way it works in my luck. All righty. We're going to do a gear change here and go to the main event of the evening. And then we'll come back and do Praying Mantis after this one. So going to change the plan up a little bit. But the main event here is Warrior Soul. That's our classic album review for this week. The reference track for you all is in the comments in the description. So it's Warrior Soul with Love Destruction. That is the single from this album. So Warrior Soul, Love Destruction is your reference track while we go through and revisit Warrior Soul, Salutations from the Ghetto Nation. So it's 12 tracks, 56 minutes. The third studio album from the American band released October 1992 via DGC Records. Produced by vocalist Corey Clark. Love Destruction was the only single released as far as I can tell. This was ranked number 381 in Rock Hard Magazine's book of the 500 greatest rock and metal albums of all time in 2005. The album is turning 30 this year. It's this week's Patreon Choice Review. So remember, if you want to, I'll be cheeky here and just put another link in little comments here. Give me a second while I scroll and do things that are stupid. Where is it there? Come on. There it is. Alrighty, so bear with me. So if you want to vote, every week we do these albums. If you want to vote, in the description, in the comments, there's a link to our Patreon page. Doesn't matter what level you get into, but if you choose to join us on Patreon, you get to vote on these ones, which is a lot of fun. Every week we do a Patreon choice album review, and this is the one for this week. So let's go to you first, Lee, because this is one you've been keen on for quite some time. This is the reason why you're here with us tonight, because I know how big of a fan you are of this. So give us your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I guess at the time, teenage boy in Melbourne growing up, gone through that kind of period with the glam rock, thrash metal, engaged in that, listening to, as I said to you earlier, listening to 3RRR's metal show with Alan Thomas, and he unearthed this band and whatnot. I'm like, wow, yeah, a little bit different. So I quite liked the first song I heard. I was off Last Decade, Dead Century, their debut album, and then kind of at this album, obviously it's the 30-year anniversary this year, so that's why this is selected. But coming to the third album, I think this must be I think I probably play this more than Last Decade, Dead Century these days. Quite like the album. Going back to like their production and stuff there. So this was self-produced by Corey and at the stage with David Geffen Records. So it was obviously part of a factory. I guess there was some big names signed up to Geffen. he had a big falling out with Geffen, obviously, after this album. Obviously not supported or promoted in the way that he'd hoped to be. I think he still remains bitter to this day, thinking that it was probably chose Kurt Cobain over Corey Clark. So I think his ego was tarnished in some ways there. So yeah, from that, so he decided from the following album to make sure it was Sabotage and didn't promote it at all. Just talked it really down so he could get off his record deal with Geffen. But I just think, as a first heard him, I thought this guy's a voice of a new generation. For me, the antithesis of what hair metal stood for, even though I kind of grouped him in that kind of genre at that stage, which was kind of big news back in the late 80s, early 90s. He was a rebel with a cause.
Yep.
Most of the lyrical content wasn't your typical sex, drugs, rock and roll. It was talking about your politics, corruption, and still to this day he's big on politics. He was a pretty big opponent towards Donald Trump's politics in America and stuff there. So he's always been lyrically talking about, I guess, that dark underbelly of society. Some of a bit more substance, I guess, a bit more serious, I guess, noted with all these things. But yeah, the band itself, Noda Rock, and I think the at that stage, the rhythm section, I think Pete and Mark would, I think I quite like their throughout the album, and John guitars just really shone, but Corey's vocal always stood out for me. But much to the my despair, these days his voice is definitely waned. So I think I'll just go back to one of his recent albums, the covers album. I think it was Cocaine and other good stuff, and it was a classic rock review in there a couple of years ago. I think when there was one line in there, I think I was just reading earlier. It's like Corey Clark was torn between a drug hoovering party animal and a brick throwing revolutionary. So
that's a good one.
To judge him by his current his voice, I'm assuming he chose the former. I think he's probably his drug consumption is probably his body is kind of showing the signs of disrepair at the moment. But this is fitting, I guess, for today. Tomorrow they're dropping a new single from their Out and Bale single comes out, and then the new album will come out next month. But this was a really pivotal album for me, I guess. Kind of made me sit up and realize, and then lyrically, just kind of pushed me towards bands like Vane and that as well. So I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, so interesting to hear other people's thoughts. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Beautiful.
Standouts for me would probably, for the whole album, I think Love Destruction obviously opens up really well. I quite like the slower, I think the Golden Shore later on in the album.
Yeah.
And that's it. Punk and Belligerent and probably Shine Like It, probably more standout. So,
nice.
I was just saying, I was showing you earlier, I do have where my camera here, album there. Autograph, can't see too closely on there, but there you go. Is the man in the middle, got Corey Clark's autograph in the middle there. So got asked that back in '92 on their website to get him to send it out to me. So the band autographed it for me in time. So that was great to receive that in the mail. But really, really love this album. So okay, over to you guys.
Nice. Alrighty, well, Tim, how'd you go?
I thought it was very interesting because music in this era is very interesting because it's like rock and roll kind of goes in a few categories now. You've got your leftover hair metal bands, and then there's the sort of your new style rock and roll was coming in the 90s, which is the complete opposite. And then there's those that made it, there's those that didn't. And when I say those that made it, I mean exclusively just commercially. You know what I mean? You know which bands we're talking about here, and those that for whatever reason didn't have the same success, despite releasing quite similar albums. And I always like Andrew knows, I like listening to demos and live recordings, rehearsal recordings, and part of that interest is from Mel is I like looking at early music scenes and seeing where things can improve, and I like looking at bands and thinking okay, well, why didn't it work, right?
Yep.
And for me, like with this band, and I mean, I actually think the songs are great, right? And I think there's a like songs like Dimension and Shine Like It, and The Party and all that. There's a great.
Yep.
They're really catchy, right? The vocals are strong enough to carry it, right? And the rhythm sections is kind of doing its job throughout the whole thing, and the guitars kind of your support. Your support music and the vocals really do carry it on the top. Yep. I just think it lacks support though. Production for is a big thing for mine. I think that's where it really could have improved.
Wow.
And not in terms of engineering. Like I think it sounds good, but in terms of did we need harmonies here? Did we need extra guitar parts here? When we're going into the bridge in this part, could we have put like a passing chord in the middle to open it up? Are we playing the right chords to make sure that we're getting the maximum effect of the song? I think that's where it kind of falls down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So editing,
for example, but I know they're gonna hate. They're gonna hate the Nirvana comparison, right? But I was listening to Something in the Way yesterday.
Yep.
And it's a 2-chord song.
Yep.
Played on a shitty guitar.
Yes.
Right. Recorded by a guy who was reportedly lying on the couch when he was singing it. But when you listen to it, the thing that turns it from a shitty song into a great song is harmonies.
Yeah.
In the chorus, and that's what opens everything up, and that's
strings help too.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that are what turn the things like that. The difference between demos and hit records, and I think that's where this one kind of falls down a little bit. It just needed that extra. It has salt and pepper. It needed paprika.
Yeah. You wanted more.
Yeah, I wanted. Where is the sauce? It needed fried onions. It needed.
You want a bit of heat.
But apart from that, like I said, the everything is there. Like everything is there. It's a great song. If you were to take these songs, strip them back, play them on an acoustic guitar with one dude, it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because the songs are there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just that a little bit. But I mean, for me, as like just a nerd who likes looking into these things, it's an interesting album to listen to. But yeah, Shine Like It, Dimension, Ass Kicking were my highlights. I also thought The Party had a really nice groove to it as well. There's some cool little hi-hat shit in there as well. But yeah, 8 out of 10. It's a good listen. Never heard it before, and glad to have heard it.
All right, cool. It's actually a higher score than I thought you were going to give it there for a bit there. That's kind of pretty cool. Now, I will get to the comments. These reviews, we like talking, so just bear with us. But for me, what I love about doing what we do, and we do it every week, and is when you find a band you haven't spent a lot of time on, you know the name, and it's like, okay, it's one of those ones you're going to get to it at some point, you'll check it out. This is one of those bands for me. I didn't know a lot about these guys before going into this one. And so, that's the fun part of doing this process for me. You look at the history of this band, they went from 0 to multi-album deal in about 9 months. Fucking nuts. Like Corey had this thing where he was going to be one of the biggest bands in the world, and he almost kind of got there. If you like this band, Lee's mentioned before, there's new music coming out soon. So there's a new album due on March the 4th. I'm not sure. It might be called Out on Bail, but that might be the new single that's dropping tomorrow as well. So it could be a bit of a wires cross there, but very interested to see what's in the newer side of things. This has gone back in time though. This one, it was funny, the Nirvana reference, because the opening of this, the first guitar lick on this album put me straight in mind of Pearl Jam. It went bang. It was like Jeremy or something like that. Just that little guitar piece at the start. But after that, it just fucking keeps right into gear for me. This is a weird album in the context of it's got elements of what's been done before. It's got elements that are contemporary to the early 90s. And then it's got things that are coming up later on that is almost like ahead of their time in a lot of respects for what I got out of this one too. The track that was the single for this one, Love Destruction, is the perfect choice for that kind of time. But I don't think it's one of the highlights on the record for me personally. I think that there's a bit of grunge about this one, but this is also more in terms of what the alternative metal or alternative rock was coming up in the post grunge kind of era as well. It was managing to blend this weird thing where it's like, from 85 to 95, it was like this weird melting pot on this album from one. And I thought that was really intriguing when you're taking it in the context of where it sat in the middle of that bracket. I really did enjoy this one a lot. I think it's well executed. This album isn't short of something to say lyrically. Like Lee mentioned the political stuff. There's a big rip in here about the Republican Party and stuff like that as well, which is interesting to take it all into account, especially what happens later on in life. But I think that, this is really cool. I liked how the mix was done, how they panned things left and right, hard left and right, and opened up the space for the vocals to sit right in the center. Like, you might want sort of the production editing side of things, but in terms of mixing and engineering, this fucking is insanely good to spin for mine. Like the way they carved space out and kept everything clean, the tones are all there, nothing's missing. It just sounded great. It's got plenty of grit in there, but the separation of the tones, nothing got muddy. It was just fucking well done. I liked how little things got brought into focus in just the right times and just the right ways. And this was like someone was riding the faders. There was a thing here where there was one song where the hard hat was hard panned, I think, left. And it was just really, really simple things that just show great attention to detail that, for me was making this, because I'm a production nerd, it just fucking made it riveting for me to listen to, because I'm sitting there going, okay, I can sit here and pick things out. It's just ear candy fucking central. Not that there's a lot going into it, but just the way things were executed and how subtly it was done. I really did enjoy it. I don't think they've been here. I'm not sure. Lee, you might know better than me, but I don't think they've been to Australia at all from memory. But if they did come here at this time, sort of a band like Horsehead would have been the perfect support act for these guys. So if you're a fan of Horsehead, we've got a lot of people here that love Horsehead. This is an album you should check out. I don't know. Punk and Belligerent, though, from all this stuff about the grungy side of things, they hit this sort of the album where it just goes, okay, bang, we're off. And they do things that are slower and they do things that are faster. Punk and Belligerent is so upfront with attitude. It just rips on this listen. It's the perfect spot on the album too. I think it was they did the very clever thing back then to avoid the explicit tags. So there's no swearing in these songs, which back then helps them get things like radio play. So it was clever, but it was also executed very, very well, that it didn't really become noticeable. It became a charming thing, not a I didn't just fucking say it kind of a thing. So it was very, very cool. Every little bit went into this one. The amount of thought that went into it was very, very cool, which is why I was a bit confused by Tim's thoughts there. But it's all good. I think it's actually cool to get different points of view on it. Maybe it would have been better with that, but I was just so caught up in how they executed it. I really just enjoyed it. I thought the album flowed great here. There's some observational and social commentary and stuff in this one, but you got some just genuine fun stuff in this one too. Like, what's that track there?
Ass Kicking.
Ass Kicking. That's just what the fuck. That is a pure party song. That is a pure party song. This is an album, even though there's stuff about the party, that's the political side. This is an album you can put on from start to finish at a party, and it will go off. It'll be fine. It'll keep the room entertained for the 50 minutes duration that it goes for. I think the only critique that I can give on it is that the two tracks, Trip Rider and I Love You, toward the back third of the album, they did stretch this one a bit much. I thought they were kind of redundant. It had what those two songs brought to the album already in here, and they just felt not filler. They're good songs, but they just felt like they did stretch the album too far. If you'd have cut those off, you'd have saved yourself 7 minutes, got it down to about the 46-minute mark, and it would have been pretty much fucking perfect had you done that. But that's really a very small critique. They're both good songs. I just think it stretched it too far because they were just kind of superfluous. They were in addition to what was already there. It didn't really need to be there. Those were the songs like the Lawnmower Deth one. I would have put those ones as separate sort of B-sides on singles sort of stuff, not on the main album itself. But that said, I enjoyed this one a hell of a lot. If you like anything sort of grunge to a bit of attitude to the alternative stuff that comes later on, so anything from sort of 89 to 96, hit this album up. It's going to be fucking really good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I picked Punk and Belligerent, Ass Kicking, and Ghetto Nation. I liked the album close on this one. I thought that was a really, really sharp way to wrap things up. So there we go. It's worth listening to all the way through. And it's cool how we've all got different sort of standouts on this, which is it's going to be something here for almost everyone, I reckon, which is really, really nice. All righty. Well, I think Lee, that gets you off the hook now. We got one.
For those new to the band or don't really aware, I think that the debut album would be something worth checking out as well. The Last Decade, Dead Century is really a good listen to. So it's those two albums are my go-to albums for Warrior Soul. So all right,
cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
I'll hang around for a bit. I want to hear look at some of the comments.
That's all right. All right. Well, you hang around while we do the next review, and then we'll get to a bin and we'll wrap up. So you can just sort of sit there and look pretty for a minute there, Lee, while Tim and I will go back and do some stuff. But I'll go to the comments first. I did say the comments were going to be coming, so give us a second here. Conrad, I'm not sure what you've shared in the comments on Facebook, but Conrad shared something there, so go and check that out if you want to. Going back to Lawnmower Deth for a second, Dean has gone and dug up the names for us. So Lawnmower Deth members. Qualcast, Coffee Percolator Mutilator on vocals, Concord Face Ripper on guitar, Schizo Rotary Sprint Master on guitar, Mighty Mo Destructimo on bass, and Exploding Dr. Jaggers Fleemo on bass. I think there's fucking, make of that what you will. So there's some very fun names in there. All right. I think this is referring to this album here, but Nicole has gone Grunge Across the Doors, which is probably fair, I would say. Tom says, Corey's a legend, such an underrated artist. John Rico was an amazing guitar player. The band's first 5 albums are amazing. So cool, got another fan there. I will say this, that, production like this, fucking that's awesome. Dean, haven't heard of Warrior Soul, but really like Love Destruction. Have to check them out more. Cool. Tom says, should have been as successful as Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana. Okay, cool. But also, from what I remember, Corey burnt a lot of bridges while he was on a major label, which kind of hurts things there too. Tim, in the middle of your review, Sally goes, love Tim's review. So there you go. some love for Tim there. Dean's gone, did they do gigs with Gunners or any of Slash's projects? That'll be great with any of them, like in here. I reckon Slash's Snake would be good with these guys.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Andrew, our good friend Andrew, he's gone, based on the reviews, we'll definitely check out Warrior Soul. Very nice. Cool. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Good to see you, buddy. And Crimson Fire on YouTube. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. It gives me Slaughter and Cinderella vibes meshed with angsty lyrical statements and grungy undertones. That's a pretty fair description as well. Nicely put. Thank you for joining us there and giving some thoughts.
Just
all
quickly,
right.
Conrad shared the Lawnmower Deth with Kim Wilde.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you for highlighting that for me. This is where I do have some help on that side of things because Tim can pay attention to the Facebook comments a lot easier than I can at this point in time with what I'm looking at with different platforms here. All righty. One more review to go. Let's get into it. This one's going to be a change of pace on the rest of the evening, but let's get into it anyway. This is Praying Mantis. Your reference track is Cry for the Nation. So the band is Praying Mantis. The reference track is Cry for the Nation. It's our final review for the evening. We're going to be out of here soon. And the new album from the band is Praying Mantis, Catharsis. That's our next review, our final one for the night. 11 tracks, 53 minutes, the 12th or 11th, depending on what you see. Studio album from these guys, the English band they are, released January 2022 by Frontiers Records, produced by the band, or at least vocalist John J.C. Keepers and drummer Hans Insand. 2 singles have been released in Closer to Heaven and Cry for the Nations. This is the 3rd album in a row with the current lineup. This band have been around for close to 50 years in some way, shape, or form, but never hit the heights of others from the era, notably the new wave of British heavy metal movement there. Okay, Lee's gone dark there for a second, so he can still see what's going on. He's still here, but I'm just going to pull him out so it's not just a random square sitting there on the feed. But that's where we're at with this one. So these were guys that came through around the same time as Iron Maiden and the like, but didn't quite hit the heights. Tim?
This is for historical purposes, a very interesting listen.
Okay, cool.
Again, because I know not everyone's a punk fan, but punk changed music.
Yes, it did.
Because once punk came along, you could no longer just play your instrument in a rock band. You had to attack your instrument a little bit. You had to hit the drums a bit harder. You had to hit the strings a little bit harder. And Praying Mantis have gone, no, that didn't exist for us.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I get exactly
because this is not a band that is gonna break a string anytime soon.
Yeah, not on this album.
No, there's very, very delicate playing on this album. Songwriting is fantastic though. And don't get me wrong, there's benefits to doing that as well because as you're like, I'm sure the sound guy heard these guys play and thought, "Oh, thank God for this."
Yeah.
And you can tell with how it comes in because it just sounds crystal clear.
Yep.
I was thinking about this, like it's like when we did the last Deep Purple album. It's like these older musicians who were used to recording in shitbox studios 50 years ago are now where everything does sound clear now and doing it the right way. And recording things in an older style, but just using the newer equipment to make sure everything sounds crystal clear, and it absolutely sounds fantastic.
Yep.
Song wise, but song wise, it just sounds a little bit weird to me because it is very it sounds like they're playing a little pedestrian.
It's a very classic rock vibe.
Very classic rock vibe, which is it's almost like like Steely Dan playing metal.
Actually, that's pretty. Yeah, I'd pay that.
You know what I mean? It does take a little bit to get around, because there is that new wave of British heavy metal songwriting style.
Yeah,
but don't expect the intro to the Painkiller on this. There's no. Yeah. But like I said, songwriting wise, playing wise, it's spectacular. There is also a nice nice serving of cheese at points as well, which is I quite enjoy. Like, ain't no rock and roll in heaven is nice cheese.
That's actually I enjoy that.
There's cheese, but it's I like cheese. I'm a big fan of cheese, so I thought it was. It's got to be the right cheese.
Yeah, that's true.
So I thought it worked. So for me, look, 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite album. Yep. Having said that, I'm glad I listened to it. I think if you're the right kind of person, you'll definitely get a kick out of this. If you like more of the poppier hair metal bands,
okay, yep,
I think that could be a good gateway for this one as well. Because if you like, you know the ones I'm talking about. I've got a blank on the top of my head, but yeah, like you're the more poppier sides. Chorus pedal, big open power ballad kind of thing.
Yep,
I think this could be a good gateway for that as well. So yeah, not my sort of thing, but yeah, I'll also pick Closer to Heaven as a highlight. Nice,
cool. We are getting some comments, which I'll get to in just a moment. This is much more classic rock than new wave British heavy metal. So it's just it is that whole thing where a band that's been around in some way for 50 years is now doing very, like the Deep Purple reference was actually pretty apt on your behalf there. I'll completely agree with that. It's the same thing. It's like they've just gone through the years. They do what they do, and they just improved the gear they're doing it on. And it works extremely well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't have to. I think for me, we say these things, but don't think there's no balls on this one, though. There's some nice riffs. There's some good drums on this one, too. I thought that the piano and the keys were well used. And this one, they weren't overdone on this, which is a trick that a lot of these bands fall into, that they overuse those ones. They didn't do that in this one. It allowed the vocals to shine with the melody involved in them because it wasn't too busy. It was over. There was a lot in the writing. There was enough space for that to be the highlight of the song, as it should be, because there's some nice vocals in this one too. I thought there was good groove and flow across the record. The way they use space and tempo across the whole listen and individual songs as well was nicely done. But I thought, when bands are doing things well, this sort of style, like you said, the poppier side of things, the hooks on this, the hooks are really fucking infectious. They're going to get in your head. These songs aren't going to take long to get stuck, and you're going to be singing along pretty quickly. And these are easy songs to do. If this gets your attention at all, you're going to be enjoying this record. You're going to be in for the ride pretty quickly. I thought the track order was thought out well. It's one of those things where they've balanced out, when they do kick it up the pace a bit, it's balanced against the slow moments. They haven't gone for the trick like I thought that before when we talk about Warrior Soul, there was a couple of tracks back to back which kind of didn't feel like they were really required. For this one, everything had a place. Everything fit a little pocket for itself. Everything was in its home on the record. It's funny, we've referenced a few different things tonight. I'm going to throw something different in the mix here. If you're a fan of Michael Sweet in Striper or as a solo, this is one you're going to want to check out. And it's nothing to do with the religious aspect. It's just that the tone of the vocal and the songwriting and all that sort of stuff is really, really, it's not a cloning of it, but if you're a fan of this, you will like that kind of thing.
Well,
they're going to the same basket.
Michael Sweet's got that voice.
Yeah.
And if you like a good singer, then
it's just good, clean singing with some good rock and roll under it kind of thing. Some good classic rock under it. It's more into the softer side, but it's not all soft either. There is some good kick on it.
Remember as well, we're listening to this in the context of Lawnmower Deth as well.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about softer side, it's softer compared to Lawnmower Deth.
Yeah, it's not soft. There's some nice kick in this one too. So don't sit there going into a power ballad. It's not. It's got really good gear changes across the entire record. So I did enjoy the pace change on this one too. Old school mix, old school everything about it. I loved the warmth and punch in the bass and the drums. That was really nice. Like the bottom end on this was really nice. This just feels like we've said veterans nailing what they do. They're just veterans. They know what they're doing. They've been at it for a while and just fucking go in there, do the job, and get out of the way. And it's just really smooth. It's like a good old fashioned solid Scotch. It's not quite the one you pay squillions for, but it's pretty fucking good at the same time. It's one of those ones. It's a good, nice sipping kind of a listen. This would be good live. I reckon the entertainment on this would be fucking good for this too. And there's some nice guitar solos. This is a pretty complete rock record. I don't think there's a lot of negative things to say about it. I think if you listen to one song and you enjoy it, you're going to like the whole album. It's pretty good. I think the only small critique is that it might get a little bit samey after a while, but that's, again, in the context what we listen to around it as well. So, take it with that, come with a bit of a grain of salt, but I enjoyed the listen from start to finish. 8.5 out of 10 from me. I picked Cry for the Nations, Long Time Coming, and The Devil Never Changes. So there's a few different songs there to go and check out. But yeah, there were some very cool ones in this one too. Ain't No Rock and Roll Heaven, like you said, that's a good song. That's got a really catchy sort of it's that hook. I think that's where I first picked up on the Michael Sweet vibe, was that sort of song there in particular, was where it sort of really came into focus for me. This is a fucking cool album. So no duds here tonight. They're all pretty good. So make sure you check out what you enjoyed and let us know what you think. Go back to the comments here for a second. Nicole says, loving this band. Very nice. Glad you're enjoying this one. Crimson Fire reminds me of Europe. If you're talking latter Europe, yeah, I get the vibe of the more recent Europe albums, not the Final Countdown era, but yeah, this sort of the more recent Europe albums definitely will cross over well with that. Dean says, I really like this. Then with Hardline, I can hear a Wet or even Eclipse. That would be working pretty well too out of the melodic rock scene over in Europe. Basher says, Steely Dan playing metal. Brilliant analogy. So there you go. I said it did make sense when you think about it. Dean says, 8 out of 10 for me. You wouldn't think they have been around 50 years. Sounds like a new band coming through. They do sound very fresh on here. Jeff says, Pray and Cry for the Nations, a decent song with a terrible video. Yeah, don't worry about the video. If it cost more than $20, they paid too much. Having said that, quite like the song, got the classic sound. I'll check out more from them. Cool. Well, it's more about the song than the video. I will say that. Dean says, warming drum sounds amazing to hear, especially with headphones. They did sound good on that one. But Sally says, I keep waiting for it to finish. I'm not sure if that's us or the album or the song, but either way, we're there now. So we're going to bring Lee back in to the fold here. So welcome back, Lee, there. We're going to do a quick little wrap-up. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add on the albums before we start doing a wrap-up and do a bin? So, Lee, think about what you're going to put in the bin for a minute. But is there anything that anyone wants to throw in here before we wrap up and get out of here? All quiet?
No,
cool.
Good.
The awkward pause on Sally's just gone, not you guys. Well, I'm grateful that it's not us. There we go. Just comments, but it's hard because I don't get if I could show a screenshot of what I see here, there's no context the way the comments come through. It's fucking weird. But I try and make do with what I can. That's why Tim jumping in to show us what's on Facebook comments is helpful before. Alrighty. Before we get out of here, a special shout out to some fantastic Patreon supporters of ours. So Tim Caterson, Sonia Dolabella, Lee McDonald, who's here with us tonight. Conrad O'Collins is also in the comments. Jason Winch, Brendan Ellison, 16x9, Marty Powell, Sam Biondo, Trash Vegas, Carolyn Mallet, Gwyneth Richards, Andrew Heyman, Daniel Bateman, Man Family, and Bell Wright. Thank you all so much for your support. Again, if you would like to get involved in all this sort of stuff, so you get to get a shout out and check out, because what it is with the Patreon stuff is at the bare minimum, there's a link in the comments down, there's also in the description. At the bare minimum, you're going to get anywhere between a half dozen to a dozen new pieces of music a day to check out. You get exclusive content from us and voting on albums we do every week and stuff like that. So that's every week, every day that comes through to you at the bare minimum. So it's like $2 a month for that level of stuff, and you can go up from there. So please do check out the Patreon page. The more support we get there means the more time I can devote to doing this. It means I can turn down casual shifts that I'm on now, and I can go, okay, I can focus on doing this versus having to worry about sort of balancing things out. So we're about a quarter to a third of the way to the ultimate goal. Any help we can get there would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I'm doing a big drive on that this year because I'd like to make this year a lot bigger. It helps us to get interviews done too, because those are all sorts of weird times during night and day. So help us out there if you'd be so kind, and I'll quit waffling on about that now. What is coming up this week is we've got a few specials coming out online. So online, I'm still editing it, but there's the King of the Riff 1987 edition where we'll crown the best album of the year out of a selection of 10. Then coming up at the end of February, we're going to be doing an Armored Saint special online. And for the TV special online, it's going to be Armored Saint / with Overlook 80s Metal. That's what's going to be happening on TV. Monday night, join us for our Hard Rock Show stream on Monday, where we'll talk about the latest from Electric State, an Australian band from WA, Korn and Saxon, along with much more like the singles and that we always do. Thursday night, we're on Channel 44, and that's at 10 p.m. Australian Central Daylight Time, where Dave, Tim, Caterson, and myself will sit there and we'll talk about some handpicked favourites from 1987. And then on Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 51 Melbourne Journal, that's coming up this week on Saturday night. We're going to be talking about Dave and myself get together and just pick up a whole bunch of new music. I know Ghost is in there, for example, and a few other ones as well. So it's going to be a very nice, fun episode. I think it kicks off, though, with a bit of a nod to Meatloaf due to his recent passing. So that's coming up on Saturday night. Tonight, it's actually already on, I think. So, yeah, that you've got on Channel 44 in Adelaide, and on Thursday night coming up, we're talking about 1987. That's this week and next week. So that's what's coming up. There's a lot going on. Make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date. So to do that, details are in the description or the post. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Keep sharing it around, helping us out in that regard. If nothing else, is always greatly appreciated. Any of your comments and likes and all that stuff we do is fucking fantastic too. What else have we got here? So, I don't know where I'm at now. I keep seeing comments like, fuck, where am I? Alrighty. I think that's about it, honestly. Oh, yeah, big thank you, of course, to our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Scrimping, Old Colton Rockstar Finance. I should fucking thank them. Their details, just like ours, in the description or the post of this one too. So please find them, give them a like, a follow, a share. All that sort of stuff is greatly, greatly appreciated too by us and by them. Give them a chop out for helping us here at the show. Alrighty. We're almost there. Andrew said here he's jumped back onto Patreon after credit card change. Thank you so much for your support. So I'll give you a shout out as well. Andrew, thank you for doing that for us. Crimson is saying, cheers, guys. We're not quite out of here. We're going to go to a bin, so give us one more minute, but we're out of here in a minute. And speaking of that, let's get to the bin. We're going to start off with an audience one here from Dean. He's gone, the bin. Novak getting the vaccine now only because Nadal won the Oz Open and got the spotlight, not that.
I did see that before.
Did that happen? I have not caught up on that at all.
Yeah, so a guy who was a Novak Djokovic biographer reckons that, Novak's going to get vaccinated now because Nadal's going further ahead in the all-time Grand Slams record.
Of all the reasons to get it done. Okay.
But that's the thing. There is no question Djokovic would have won that tournament. It's just he didn't do it with a dick.
Jesus Christ. All right, whatever. Fucking hell. All right, yeah, okay, in the bin. Okay, Nicole is going bin equals COVID stats. I'm over it. No longer care. Sorry for everyone that gets sick, dies. People are losing their mental health battles daily, yet no stats. End rant. It is happening less and less. And yes, there we go. Crimson is agreeing with that. I have seen it less commonly shouted about, but I don't know. I don't follow that much media. I just do what we do here, and I don't really pop my head up to
I generally get all my news from Simpsons meme pages now.
It's probably more accurate. Oh, God.
I found out that Meatloaf died because I saw the picture of Homer staring at the stars with Meatloaf in the sky.
Oh my God! Okay, that's one way to do it.
That's what I find out anyone does.
Okay, alrighty. And before we get stuck in our bins, Darren's gone. Shout out to Sister Doll who have sold out their show at Musicland for Saturday night. Also, Cassidy Paris has almost sold out GM Sound for tomorrow. Awesome. Good to see two Melbourne bands or Melbourne artists. Should say doing very well. Sister Doll and Cassidy are both great. So if you get a chance, check them out when you get to do so as well. It's good to see them. Selling out local shows, which is fantastic. There's a lot of gigs going on, so make sure you get out and about. We'll have to start bringing back the gig guide soon. So, Nikki, if you're watching, We have to get stuck into that sometime in the near future.
Oh, also, quick announcement. Exclusive.
Yes. Go.
March 17th, Arcane Saints. This ain't love. This is Primal. We're being released.
Nice. There you go. Looking forward to that one being out there at last for everyone to hear. That's going to be very, very cool. I've been hanging on to this for a while. So, yes, definitely keen. Definitely.
But it is the best thing the band has ever done. I say that with no qualms.
Awesome. Are you gonna? You know how we used to do reviews with like Jimmy and Dennis when we do their stuff? We'd sort of gaffer tape them or whatever, so they couldn't say anything in the middle of the review because we do it all online. Are you going to tune in that day? Are we going? Obviously, won't have you review it, but are we going? Are you going to?
Hey, yeah, of course. We watched the Orange. We all watched the Orange review.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Okay, let's go to the bin. Let's get some stuff here. We'll get some comments in a second. I know, Sally, yours is there. But, Tim, let's go to you first. What are you putting in the bin this week?
Unnecessary app notifications.
Yeah. Fuck yes. My God.
Oh, my God. Like, I have not opened the AFL app in 6 months, and then all of a sudden, ba-ding! Yeah. What is this? Oh, my God, I don't care. Or, like, I've got the WWE app, and every fucking pay-per-view there's like fucking 5 notifications every day. Despite I'm not going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to. There's much. I cannot. Like I know everybody wants to use their shit. Yeah. But like it's even though it's on my phone, I don't use it. Most of it.
Yeah.
Enough with the notifications.
You want to see my phone? You want to have any idea what I get? I've got to turn all these fucking things off. Because mine, hang on, just put this down. Mine, that's just, it goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And that goes
I actually just discovered. I knew that the do not disturb mode existed.
Oh, that's so good to me. That is my saving grace.
I knew it existed, but I only just started using it, and like it's fucking awesome.
Yep. When you guys can't get hold of me, that's why.
Yeah.
Just fucking turning it off so I can get something done. That's all it is. If it's important, someone will ring me. That's how I look at it. And that's how it gets started.
No, but it's just like I can check it at my own accord as opposed to having this thing buzzing the whole time.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier. Yeah, no, good bin. I like that one. Okay. Sally's just gone up. Oh my God, Andrew, too many, mate. Hey, this is a quieter night. Believe me, you have no idea. That's not even the expanded.
I know your email list. It's not fun.
No, it's insane. It's fucking nuts. All right, Lee, what are you going to put in the bin?
I'll keep it non-political as well. So I'm just looking back the last week. Not that I watched too much of it, but Nick Kyrgios, go from the Novak Djokovic team, but just being an Australian and a representative and a supposed role model to young kids, just learn a bit of humility, young man. He's still a dickhead. Trying to insult everyone on the way through that it's all about me. Fucking typical fucking Generation X. Fucking sick of it. Just fucking, it's like, learn a bit of humility. We've had some good tennis stars in the past, Pat Ruff and look, Ash Barty now. Yeah. But Kyrgios just thinks it's the whole show revolves around him. Like, tournament wouldn't have been successful. It wasn't for me. All the ratings all about me. It's all about me. But I just can't stand the guy. Fucking idiot.
He's the perfect heel for tennis.
They were like serving underarm up until like the semi-final.
Hey, at least it wasn't that Medvedev dickhead who fucking went off at the ball, kid.
That's true.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add there, Lee, or you had your been?
No, that's all right. Just I mean, not that I know that tennis should be a gentleman's sport or whatever you want to call it, all the crowd behaviour and stuff, but it just he evokes the yobbo element in the Australian audiences and stuff. And it's not a good representation for our country overseas. So he thinks he's done a good thing, but I don't know. It's probably more detrimental than being positive. But if that's the way we're going to carry on and continue, I think we're going to be a major tournament around the world. It might come back to bite us on the butt down the end. So anyway, just see what.
Yeah,
very true. And people will complain when the money is not there anymore. So that'll happen. Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right. My bin here is not my phone. I need that. I'll get to the comments on my phone in a second. I've got a few more coming through. But bin for me is open house inspections. Not only are they a pain in the ass to go through. Now, we're not going through them ourselves. We're happy where we are. We're good. Everything's fine for us. But the trouble is, I remember what it was like before we moved into here, and it was fucking painful. But now the neighbors have moved out, and so they've got theirs gone on too. And so it was that whole, the trigger of memory is fucking with you. But then, of course, our crazy dog Caesar, who likes to control the entire fucking kilometer radius around the house, as soon as anyone walks near this joint, it's on for young and old. So it just stresses the dog out unnecessarily. And I have to sit there and calm him down when there's people just coming back and forth because it's a cul-de-sac. It's a court where we live. So it's just there's not many places for people to park, and they're parking on the front and all sort of stuff, which I don't care about that, but it just triggers the dog. So it's like, and he's a big fucking loud dog. You've met him, Tim. He's a big boy. He's got a very loud bark, and it will wake anyone up within probably a few hundred meters of the joint. So
he's also very switched on.
Yes.
Like as soon as someone parks in that court, he's off.
Yeah. He knows when it's happening. So it doesn't take much. So you can imagine what it's like for us going through every weekend with the open house inspection. So open house in the bin. What do we got here? So let's go. Sally is gone. In the bin when all the bills come at once, as well as a car rego. That fucking sucks. I feel your pain there. That's shitful. Yeah, she said, oh my God, too many on my phone. Dean says, yep, Tim, get all the notification from wrestling and not watching it, even if Brock is back and won the rubber, which we saw coming. So there we go. Andrew's gone, phones have...
What's AEW, man?
AEW, yes, AEW.
Danhausen just debuted.
Yes. And we're hoping Jeff Hardy will end up over there. I think it's pretty likely.
Yeah, I think he's there.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, Andrew's gone, phones have an off button. Yeah, but you'd sympathize. It doesn't matter how old your kids are. They're still going to need to call you, and I've got to have it there for that. What do we got here? Lee, 100% with Dean. He's agreeing with you, Lee. So your bin with Curios is very, very nicely done. Same with Nicole. I agree, Lee. He has talent, but he needs a swift kick up the bum. And Dean's going to feel sorry for the dog or people coming through shitting themselves. That dog, we keep him inside for a reason. He only walks on a lead. Because he's big and people tend to cross the road when he's walking down the way toward them. I
concur, Andrew. I grew up with Great Danes. I had 3 of them in my house as a boy for about 15 years and scared every fucking kid in the neighborhood when I walked around with them. It was like, I was kidding kids, mate. Don't fuck with me. I've got 3 Great Danes.
That's it. The best part is Halloween because we put decorations out. We love it. We have to put a sign at the front saying, we put the lollies out the front and just go, please take a little bag. And we have a sign saying, don't mind the dogs, they bark. And the dogs go off, and it literally scares the shit out of the kids. Like, you can see them crap their pants. They walk up to get a lolly. Even though they read the sign, they sit there and they pause for a second. And then Caesar goes, bang, and they just go, boom. And it's like, I should save the footage because it's fucking hilarious. But, it's mean, but it's funny. One of those things, there's a Reddit thing where it's children falling over. I love that. It's really mean, but it's fucking hilarious. It's kind of Schadenfreude 101 is where it's at for that. All right, but I think we're about done for the night. Is there anything else anyone wanted to get out, or are we all done here?
Yeah, I'm good.
An hour and a half to Michael Romeo's new album. That's what I'm looking forward to. You can stay away.
Yeah, it's not far away. I'm very, very keen on that one myself. I've put it in the Patreon chat that you know how keen I am for this. I've been waiting for the Michael Romeo album for a couple of years. But we're doing that on Thursday night. That's a Thursday night album along with another classic. I'm just going to work out what the other album's going to be for Thursday night, which I haven't announced them yet. But yeah, Thursday, Michael Romeo, another classic album, and something else next week. But yeah, that's all right. So Dean's also said here quickly, video at this Halloween, I will do my best. We do have a camera, I just didn't have the footage. And Nicole says, little dogs scare me more than big dogs. I agree because big dogs, you can't do it the same thing. But I'm not going to get into that. It'll be a fucking half-hour rant from me on dog psychology, which I'm not going to do.
Yeah, little dogs don't get trained as well because you can pick them up. You can pick them up out of situations rather than teaching them.
Yes, exactly. And it's a big problem. And they have the same behavior patterns as children. And it's like, If you have a little dog, treat it like a dog. I'll put it like that. Not like a child. Treat it like a dog. Treat it as though it was 10 feet tall. Then think about how you'd control the dog and teach it to react with a circumstance. Not because it's little and it can't do much damage. Fucking annoying. Rowan's here saying, keen for the Romeo album myself. I'm glad that one's got a lot of hype because it did go quiet for a while, that whole project. There was no real word on War of the Worlds Part 2, and I'm fucking glad that there's people out there that are keen for it, just like, we are here. I've been thought for myself for a long time. I was like the only one because no one was talking about it. But doing this, we've found a few people just like, fucking yes, okay, cool. I'm looking forward to talking about that one on Thursday. But we'll do that next week. We'll get out of here for now. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you all again very, very soon. Make sure you tune in on TV on Thursday nights and Saturday nights. Join us online on Monday nights and Thursday nights. And hopefully soon we'll line up some interviews. We'll broadcast them like this. But they won't be live with the comments. We'll just sort of sit here and chat away with you all while we're watching an interview together kind of thing. We're doing a few different presentations this year, so just follow us. There'll be more to come. But thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to you guys for taking the time. And thank you to Lee as well for sitting in here and joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully you've had some fun and you've had a bit of a something different to do on a Thursday night.
Drunk a bottle of Shiraz along the way, so I'm happy.
That's it. That's the spirit. That's what we like to see. All right, cool. You are going to fit into this just fine. All right. Nicole is saying good night. Thanks for the music news. You're most welcome. Sally saying thanks, guys. You're most welcome as well. And Thomas saying have a great day, guys. Thank you very much. Everyone, have a good Friday tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. But until next time, I'm Andrew.
Tim.
I'm Lee.
Let's see how this goes. As always,
drink up.
Rock on. There we go.
Fuck up, mate.